In this video, I'm going to talk to you about what it's like working as a prison officer. So in this video series, I'm talking about different jobs that you can do within the probation and prison service, because some of you may not want to be probation officers. Some of you may really want to be probation officers, but you know that you would like to get some more experience first and test out different job roles before you go in. Or some of you might have already completed the job application and you're just not getting through, and you still want to have a job and you'd rather have a job within this arena. So this video is for you. Make sure that you're subscribed. It's Edward's Tutoring on YouTube. All the links are everywhere. Okay, so a prison officer. So again, I talk from experience because I've worked as a probation officer. I've also done various different roles within the probation service. So I have liaised obviously with probation officers in prison. I have seen the paperwork that comes to us, different communications from prison officers, sometimes going into prison. I've had communication with prison officers, but I myself have not been a prison officer. So when I finished uni, I actually really wanted to work in a prison. And I think most of that was because that was the only job I saw where you're working with people who have been in prison. So it was pretty much the first obvious thought that came to mind. But if you want to work as a prison officer, there is no entry requirements in terms of degree, so it is a very good entry-level job. Likewise, if you saw my previous video about approved premises residential worker, this one is shift work as well. So obviously prison is open 24 hours a day, 365. You'll be expected to work bank holidays, weekends, evenings, Christmas, all of that. But because there are shift patterns, you may work some longer shifts and then get, 4 days on, 4 days off, that kind of thing. So firstly, before you do apply for that job, be aware that that is what is expected of you. So what is the role? So as a prison officer, you are going to be working in the prison on the wings. So yes, I've been on the wing in prison because sometimes when you do visits, you go on the wing. Majority of prisons in the UK are male prisons. There are a couple of female prisons. Again, I've been in both kinds of prisons. There's also young offenders institutions that have people up to the age of 21. There's different category prisons. So A is the most secure, so you're going to have the most violent, dangerous offenders in there, going right down to B, C, and then D, which is open prison. So you could be working in any of those prisons. There are a lot of prisons in London, and in some towns and cities there's prisons, and then there's a lot of prisons out in the countryside. So if you're applying for prisons, know that it's probably better for you to be able to drive there or go for one of the town-based prisons. So working as a prison officer, you will get training, like restraint training. This is something that probation officers don't get because you may have to break up fights, deal with that kind of thing. There are a mix of males and females in this kind of role. You'll be expected to have those big keys hanging off you. So you wear a prison uniform, black trousers, white shirt. So it is very much institutionalized. So you are walking into work and you are working all day in a prison. So you may have to deal with fights. You will definitely have to deal with challenging behaviour. And also, again, like I said, with all of these roles, it's about really getting that balance right between not being an authoritarian, strict, cold person, but then not being overly friendly, that you're best buddies with someone, because it makes it hard to then implement, the rules that you need to do in terms of your job. So these are really good jobs to be able to learn those skills, because really you're only going to learn by doing. There's only so much that you can learn in a book or try and apply from working in customer service jobs or other jobs, but really working as a prison officer can be a really good grounding for when you want to be a probation officer. And as with all jobs that you're doing, have a high level of self-reflection. So really reflect, because it's very easy to get institutionalized yourself and see how other people are, you know, other staff are behaving and responding, and you just want to be careful not to merge into their bad habits and ways of doing things. So having high level of self-reflection, which is something I teach on my courses, is how to be more self-aware, because that I think is so crucial in all of these jobs, because you are working with people. And really, when I work with people who are on probation, they do remember prison officers. They remember the ones that are decent. They remember the ones that are really harsh, and it does really contribute to their overall experience. So if you are looking to really have a purpose and help and have a contribution, prison officer job is a really good job to have. Like I said, it is entry level jobs. The salary for prison officer is around 23,000, maybe plus minus depending on what area you're in. But as you can see, it is a little bit more than, say, residential workers, and a little bit less than probation officer. So make sure that you like this video, share this video with anyone who's currently going through this and really needs help with how to get into that career. I do have a free webinar that is currently out at the moment, so make sure that you have a look there, because I will show you exactly how to get experience for all of these jobs that I'm talking to you about right now. And make sure you check out the other videos. I've done a whole mini series for the different jobs in probation.